Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Love. It is episode 16. This is not technically impromptu episode, but we're going to see how things go. So I am going to be making macaroni and cheese. Hello, welcome everyone. This is kind of like my famous recipe. I have not shared my recipe with any family or friends before. So you all, hello, welcome, are the first to see my macaroni and cheese recipe. Disclaimer, I was already starting my cooking process and I realized that the cheese I had bought was not up to par. So I had to leave and go get some more cheese and come back, and therefore I put my noodles on as low as I could and I came back there a little overcooked. But it's okay. I'm still gonna eat it. So I've boiled my noodles, so they're in this pot. I'm not making as large of a macaroni and cheese as I normally make. So a small pot, you wanna boil your noodles. I'm gonna put those in there. I did put in here a half a stick of butter. I forgot to take it out of the freezer, so I put it in the pot, I'm sorry, in the bowl. And so because the noodles are hot, it's going to melt the butter. So, and for my macaroni and cheese, I use a couple of different cheeses. One recently I added that just took it to a whole nother level. Hello, welcome everyone. So I use, and I'll show you guys, I use, and this is all from my local grocery store, Meijer. So I use sharp cheddar, I use extra sharp cheddar, I use mount cheddar, a little bit of Velveeta. I like to buy the little small tiny ones because I don't use a whole lot of it. And then my favorite cheese. It has become my favorite. It didn't used to be because I had stopped eating cheese for a while. But smoked Gouda. This is the kind that I use. So it is very good. I am making macaroni and cheese. Oh yeah, pan. So this is the size I'm making. Normally I use the really deep one. But we're not gonna do that today. You know, we're gonna keep it small. So I've put my noodles in here, butter's in there. So I'm going to actually start putting my cheese in because we want to make sure we put it in while it's hot so the cheese can start melting. So first I'm gonna put some of the Velveeta in. It doesn't matter what order. I mean, it's entirely up to you. Yeah, glass pans are okay too. I normally use that, but I don't know, I kind of like using this metal pan too. I don't know, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. So then I'm putting my smoked Gouda in. Oh, in order to cut that up too, let me show you guys what I did. It just makes cutting this block so much easier. I use a vegetable peeler and I just literally take it out and just do like that, and it makes it a heck of a lot faster. So how's everyone's Sunday going? I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of people are, you know, doing their Super Bowl food, yada, yada, yada. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. If you went to church, I pray that it was off. Church was off the chain today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And now I've already mixed those cheeses, and I'm not going to use all of this. I just put it in here already mixed up just so it's already, you know, done. I don't have to do it later. So I'm going to mix the cheese in there. Hopefully you guys can see this clearly. I'm going to take this and put it to the side. I'm going to start mixing the cheese. Again, you guys, unfortunately, I did overcook my noodles. Just like, the first time it's ever happened. But, you know, it's all right. It happens. It's all right. I might end up using all of that. I kind of didn't think I would. Maybe I should have got a bigger pan, but we'll see how this goes. So I also put some more of that in there. I season my my macaroni and cheese. So I'm gonna put a little bit of my Tony's in there. For you guys who watch know that I love my Tony's. And this is the one that I use. So I'm gonna put some of that in there. And then there's also an egg and milk mixture. Now I use pet milk, which is carnations. I use about 3/4 cups of that. And then 2 eggs and mix that in there. Now if you Now listen, I will say I've heard that there's some vegan macaroni and cheese recipes that are really, really good. I have not yet had vegan macaroni and cheese, so you know, I do want to try it. And I've heard like people make it with what's that, cashews or something, and like some type of flour, or I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I do want to try it. So this is not vegan friendly macaroni and cheese. Sorry, I can't say that I ever will make it either. So I'm gonna actually take a little bit of salt, and I use pink Himalayan salt, but just a little bit. And this is my secret ingredient. It's not really a secret, but most people would never think to put it in macaroni and cheese, but it tastes amazing. Like, I like to use this term, and people, some of my friends are like, that's so weird, but it becomes like a symphony in your mouth. And whoever, you know, has heard the symphony, it's beautiful music. And so it's like beautiful music in your mouth, on your palate. So, and I use my smoked paprika. Now with this, you want to be a little generous, so that you can really taste it in all of it. Last time I made it, I was trying not to be heavy-handed, and it really wasn't enough. And it was funny because everyone was like on the side, like sprinkling more in. I was like, see, I knew I should have put more, but I was trying not to be heavy-handed. So this is my milk and egg mixture, and I'm gonna put that in there. Mix that up. I don't know if you guys can really see well what I'm doing. But how's everyone's Sunday going? Like, how has your week been? Anyone who feels like talking, you know, you're more than welcome to. If not, I'll start my conversation about change. Today, I don't know, Lord just put it on my heart to talk about change. And, you know, a lot of times we're so used to things staying the same that it's like, okay, I'm comfortable and this is how things should be. And God's like, comfort, you say. You know, many times in life, God is calling us to live outside of our comfort zone. And that can be difficult, you know, coming out of that and realizing, like, wait, I can't stay here. You know, like, I think things do need to change. Oh, thank you. Oh, I mean, you didn't. Keep watching. But, yeah, so, you know, change can be difficult. It can be tough. And I'm going to put more of the smoked paprika in here. I kind of just eyeball it. I did put the egg mixture in. So I mean, if you don't want to taste raw eggs ever, then at this point you would need to season before so that you can give it a taste and make sure it's not too much or too little. Like again, I said, you can always add more after the fact. And I'm gonna put just a little bit more seasoning, and then I'm gonna do a little taste test because I'm not tripping about the eggs. Which is so weird. I will tell you all something like I won't say I don't like. Depending on how I feel, I don't like eggs sometimes. Like, I don't. But obviously I cook with them, so. But I'm gonna do a little taste test. That's good. It needs a little bit more salt though. But season and taste. Like I said, if you don't want to have the raw eggs, then taste before you put that in there. But yeah, just some smoked paprika, and then you want to make sure as much as your cheese kind of melts. You don't want huge chunks in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this, just a tad bit. But yeah, so, you know, change is inevitable in all of our lives. As much as we don't want it to happen in certain places and ways and shape, form, and fashion, it's necessary, you know. I think it's something because, like, we go through things sometimes and it's like, oh, but I wasn't expecting it to be like this or go like that. And it's funny because we'll, like, have prayed something. I'm making macaroni and cheese. And we'll have prayed something like, oh, God, I want to see you move in this way in my life, or whatever it is that you prayed. And sometimes we forget that we've prayed that, and then change starts happening. And then you're like, God, what's happening? I don't like this. And God's like, oh, but remember you asked me for this. And you thought this was going to come without change? You know, for those that want to be a billionaire or a millionaire or your business to skyrocket, you think that's going to come without a price. You know, that price is going to be some change in your life, whether it's changing your diet, changing your, you know, financial responsibilities, changing the people around you. You cannot grow and get to where you want to be without change happening. It's inevitable. Like, if you really want the better, you gotta go with it. Exactly. And we should all be getting better with time, you know. To stay stuck and stagnant is not God's perfect will for us. And the faster that we get that and accept that, the better off we'll be. And just accepting and welcoming what God has for us. You know, a lot of times, like I said, we're just stuck in like, oh no, it just needs to be this way. And you know, we have this plan and this map in our heads of like, oh, it's going to happen like this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And we have the full road laid out, and God's laughing like, huh? That's how you think it's going to happen? No, it's not. And, you know, God is infinite in his wisdom in all his ways, and he comes in with the plan, and it's so much better and greater than what we ever thought. I wasn't drinking enough water and fainted. Oh, no. God. Oh, my gosh. Jesus, yes, drink more water. I'm sorry that happened to you. But the point is that you learned what you need to learn and to drink more water. Water is key, y'all. You can live off of water where you can not live off of certain foods. You know, certain foods are toxic. This is probably toxic. Don't eat this all the time. But anyway, so this is macaroni and cheese. I'm going to put this in the pan. And for those that missed it, when I put this in there, I'll go over what I used. And so I'm going to make that. Normally, I would use my little spatula to kind of even that out. To the side, and actually I am gonna use it. But yeah, it's so many things that we want and we say we want, but are we willing to do what it takes to get to that place? You know, and then also being mindful that some of the things we want are not a part of God's plan for our lives at all. You know, like, let's just be honest and keep it real. You know, some people want a spouse that God has not said that you're going to ever get, that is not a part of his plan. I mean, do not get me wrong. A lot of times you can force things and you can live in misery with that forced situation as well. And, you know, I've come to the conclusion in life, like, welcome, thank you for coming on. I've come to the conclusion that it is better to wait on God's perfect will than force situations, because when you force God's hand or force a situation that is not a part of his will, that junk blows up in your face every single time. And it's not worth it. It's just not. So I'm going to sprinkle the rest of this cheese on top. And it could be like, oh, it's a lot of cheese. It's mac and cheese. I mean, yeah, you know. It should be cheesy. So I'm just going to kind of put that over there evenly. And then literally, like, that is it. So I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to go over my recipe one more time for anyone who missed it. And I'm putting this on 375. So I'm going to put it on the top rack. And then sometimes if it's cooking a little too fast on the top, I'll put it on the second rack. So I'm going to grab my seat real quick. For how long? So it just depends on how fast your oven cooks. I would say probably about 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45. You also do want to be mindful of some pans will make it cook faster. So you may need to put it on the second row in your oven if the top cooks faster. I've noticed, like, with cookies, my top row cooks a lot faster. So, and pies. So I have to put it on the second row. But I would say anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes max. Sometimes I will say this. Sometimes I'll take and, like, do a little taste test to see where it's at. And then I'll take it and completely mix it up again. Like, in the pan itself, mix it and put it back in the oven. Just so everything, I don't know, for me, just gives it a little extra oomph. And depending on the taste at that point while it's baking, sometimes I'll put a little bit more of this in it, or either a little bit more smoked paprika. I'm sorry, I missed what you said. But, where's my cheese? Let me grab it for those that missed it. And I will be coming back to after it's done so you all can see. I'm going to try to time it. What time is it now? It is 1:42 where I am. So we'll see. It should be about 45 minutes. But yeah, so, you know, we have to be accepting of change. You know, everything is not going to be the way that we think it should be. And that's also a beauty in life. You know, situations are what you make them out to be up here. You know, if you thinking positive and accepting things the way they are and seeing the good in situations versus the negative, you know, your outlook is going to be different. You know, you're going to, and I like to say an outlook of joy. I'm at the, that's funny. But yeah, you have to have an outlook of joy. You know, negative things can be happening. And I've said this before, but not that you can't have your moment, but the key is not to stay there. So some crap could happen. You could have gotten a really bad car accident. Your car could be gone. But what's the good in that? You didn't lose your life. You know, you could have, someone else in the accident could have died as well. You know, just try as hard as possible to look at the good in situations. I know one time a couple times I've been in car accidents, but it was like, oh my gosh, this could have been so much worse. And you know, granted, my car was total, but God bless me, I ended up getting a brand new car after that. So, you know, listen, don't go get in a car accident until you get a brand new car. But, you know, just allow God to do what God wants to do in your life and be open to him. You know, a lot of times, like I said, we have this preset notion of how things, hi, welcome, are going to go a certain way. And that's not the case. You know, we have to be open and we have to be in a place of like really wanting the change that God wants for us, because you know, it's for the better. You know, it's for the best. I look at my life and who I was a long time ago. I was a mean teenager as a kid, you know, and not mean to everybody, but I just had this hardness about me that was like, don't play with me, don't mess with me. But as I grew up and came out of that, you know, I see the beauty in who God has brought me to at this point, and blessed me with such a compassion for people, and that I've been able to have conversations with people, engage them, and talk to them about real life hard situations and be able to be a blessing to them. Look at, if I had not changed, if I had not allowed the Lord to bring me out of that selfishness and just being rude to people for no reason, you know, I wouldn't be able to have the impact that I've had on some people. And it blesses me that God, you know, has used me in so many instances. Literally, when I was living in Jacksonville, Florida, and right before I got ready to leave, it was like my last service there. One of the young ladies there had came up to me, and she was like, I'm going to miss you. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to miss you too. You know, it's so good to see you. I know it's my last Sunday, but, you know, stay in touch. And she was just like, I just want you to know that you have been such a blessing to me, and you have no idea. She said, I've been watching you. And she said, how you just freely worship God has encouraged me so much. And I was like, wow, you know, and that was uncomfortable for me initially, because when I moved there, I was 19. And you know, when you're a teenager and you're in church and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put my hands up, but I hope no one is watching me. And that's such a ploy from Satan to like hold you in this spot of like wondering and thinking what people think about your worship unto God. It doesn't matter. It's about you and him and your relationship with him and how he's growing you. And I got to a point and I was just like, I don't care anymore. I'm going to worship. I'm going to put my hands up and give God all the glory and praise. I'm going to sing, and it doesn't matter how I sound, you know, like I'm just going to do it. And, you know, for that, the Lord put that on the inside of me to not care anymore and just to worship him as I was. Had I not followed that, I probably never would have had that conversation with that young lady and encouraged her. So you never know also who's looking at you and how your life is blessing them. But just know, like, every person's life on this planet has purpose. Please don't forget that. If you still have breath in your body, you still have purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, I encourage you to begin to seek the Lord and ask him, God, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? You know, show me what it is. You know, because God calls us for a reason. We're not just on this planet just to, yeah, I'm just here to hang out and just do me. No, like, God wants to use you to help other people. And if we don't allow him to help us change, you're just existing. And what's the joy in just existing? You know, so I just encourage you all to, you know, allow God to use you however he sees fit. I'm going to go over the recipe real quick before I end this, and I will be coming back so you all can see the finished product. But so I just used, and listen, I just used the Target brand of elbow macaroni. Most of the time I buy Barilla. Well, I won't say most of the time. It's like a 50-50 Barilla, or and I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, or either the Meyer brand, because I love Meyer. So I just use this. I use extra sharp cheese. I use extra sharp cheddar cheese, mild, and then also sharp. I mixed those together. I did also, I knocked something over. I also used Velveeta. I only ended up using like 2.5 of these. Yeah, about 2.5. And I cut it up into little pieces. And then I also used my favorite cheese. And this is smoked Gouda. I love this brand. I bought another brand. Listen, I'm going to show you all this only for the purposes of don't buy this because it did not taste good. But what is this? Dutch Garden smoked Gouda? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving right now to go to the store. And that's what I did. So, yeah. And so I mixed up 2 eggs and 3/4 of condensed milk. No, not condensed, evaporated milk, or pet milk as some people call it. And I used salt, but pink Himalayan salt. I did not use pepper. Sometimes I do use pepper, but I use this seasoning. And this is Tony's. And then I use my secret ingredient, but not so secret, but smoked paprika. It gives it an amazing taste. Like, literally, it's like a symphony in your mouth. Like, it just, So, you guys, I'm going to end it here. I'll be back with the finished product. And I'll see you guys in a few. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.